Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Comfort Oladayadebero, and if you're new to this channel, thank you for stopping by. And if you're an old subscriber, thank you for coming back. If you're here to subscribe, don't forget to subscribe. Explore the channel page for videos that will be useful for you in your plan to study abroad. So today we'll be talking about the visa application to study in Italy, specifically for Ghanaians. So I have a video which I did for those, coming from Nigeria, like majorly Nigerians who are planning to study in Italy, and you want to apply for like the visa, the documents you'll be needing, maybe the proof of fund and, flight reservation on hotel. I'm going to drop the link in the description box and just somewhere up in this video. So today we are going to Ghana. And here with me is Theo. So he's going to be talking about like the visa application process to Italy, specifically for Ghanaians, because obviously we are different countries really, and governmental organizations that will be in charge of certain maybe legalization and documents that you will need would definitely be different from that in Nigeria. So since he's a Ghanaian, he would be able to like shed more light on that process. So I'm going to allow Theo to introduce himself. Then we'll go ahead to ask our questions. Thank you, Theo.
Yeah, thank you, Comfort. Hi, everyone. Like Comfort said, my name is Theo. I'm from Ghana, and I'm a former student of University of Padua. And I'm glad to be here to share insights on my experience of coming to Italy and studying in Italy.
Okay, so what program did you study in Italy, in University of Padua?
I studied ICT and multimedia. Another name for it is information engineering.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
The machine learning guys, right?
Close to sort of machine learning is in the mathematics department. The core subject I had to do, or is it elective? I've forgotten. Anyway, yeah, there are two major courses that was compulsory for me, was telecommunications and programming for telecommunications. Yeah. And also wireless networks. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds interesting. Maybe not. So thank you once again for agreeing to be here out of your busy schedule. So the first question, or the first thing I would like us to talk about, is you walking us through the typical Italian visa application process for study from Ghana. So like, what are the documents you need? Like, I'm sure for Nigerians example, we have to do this legalization, authentication, translating documents. So what are those documents you need, and how do you go about obtaining these documents?
I think that is also pretty much the same. The process is mostly after you get admission, the next step to do is the authentication, or some people call it legalization. There are a lot of names. It's just a process for them to verify that the document you used to apply is genuine. For Ghana, everything is mostly done through the third-party organization called VFS. I think in the other video you mentioned that even when you're coming to
from the UK, so it's VFS.
Yeah, it's also VFS in Ghana. So after you have when you apply for, so I'll take you through my process.
Okay.
Because I think that also varies. When I listened to the other video that you did with the student from Nigeria, I realized that it's a bit different, because I don't know if it's the same, or maybe she left something out. So first, when you apply, you are given an offer letter. So it's not like the final admission letter. And then, so you have to do pre-enrollment. With the pre-enrollment comes the legalization or the authentication of your application and transcript. So the document that you need to apply for this pre-enrollment is you need your letter of acceptance. So you have been given an offer. You need 2 copies of your diploma and transcript, high school diploma and transcript. So I think for the West African students, we need the WASI or WAEC.
WAEC.
Yeah. So I had to go back to my SSS and get the transcripts. But I had my certification, so I had to get my transcript. And then you need your bachelor's certification and transcript as well. So it's these 2 documents that you have to translate into Italian, because I think Simi, right? That Simi said they have to verify that these documents are genuine, right? And that's why we do the pre-enrollment or the authentication. And then, so with the translation, there are a list of authorized personnel that the embassy has listed out during my time in 2019, when I went to the embassy, the list was pasted on the wall in front of the embassy. So you can call any of them and then tell them that you want to verify or authenticate your documents and translate them, so they can do it for you. And then on VFS website, you can get like there's a form called Declaration of Value, right? So you fill that form, you add your passport, you add your acceptance letter, and then your original documents of your high school diploma and transcript and your bachelor's certificate, and then the translated copies, 2 copies of the translated documents. That is your high school diploma and transcript and your bachelor's certificate and transcript as well. So that's the process. And then with the application, you don't go through VFS, you go directly to the embassy. And to verify if the experience had changed, I went to the VFS website and the embassy's website, and then I noticed that they've put a new declaration for when to do this process. And so it says that only if the university expressly requests for a declaration of value, Ghanaian students must present themselves at the embassy starting from 15th May 2023, Monday to Friday, 12 to 3 p.m. without any appointment. So you don't need appointment. I think this is great.
Let me get this straight. I think it's very much different.
Okay.
And it's now getting a bit confusing. So typically for Nigerians, I know when you've gotten your admission, you do something called pre-enrollment on Universitally, where I don't know if that's the same for Ghanaians.
It wasn't the same during my time. Yeah. So I realized that if you apply, I'm not too sure, maybe they can verify when they go to the website. But then what I noticed is that if you apply through, I don't know if Nigerians, do you guys apply for the university through Universitally, or you apply to the school directly? I don't know if you know.
For me, I applied to the school directly. Then afterwards, I had to do this Universitally stuff to print my pre-enrollment document. There's a document that shows your name, the course you want to study, where you're coming from. And it's through that pre-enrollment, your information is sent from Italy to the Italian embassy in Nigeria. So that's where you're going to apply for your visa, and you need the pre-enrollment to go ahead and do your legalization. So usually we have 2 processes in Nigeria. You have to first authenticate before you legalize. So the authentication is you taking your document to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and taking your birth certificate, taking your university documents, that's your transcript and your certificate, to the Ministry of Education to authenticate. So there's going to be like a stamp. Then there's also your birth certificate to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Then afterwards, you translate these documents, then take them to the Italian embassy for legalization. So after the Italian embassy does the legalization, the proof of the legalization is that you have a document called Declaration of Value, and that is what you submit on eng.pdf websites. You get, so I don't know if it's the same for you guys.
Okay, during my time, that was 2019, is almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, right? That's true.
So during my time, when I got the offer letter from the school, like the same thing, I had to apply upload the Declaration of Value. So then I had to, for me, I didn't have to go to the Ministry of Education to get any authentication.
So do you know if that's like the same process now?
That's what I'm not too sure, because what I noticed was that they were like, if you applied via Universitally, and then the school requests for Declaration of Value, and that's why there's a clause that says that only if the university expressly requests for the Declaration of Value, right? So I don't know if there are schools here in Italy that do not request that, but my time, after I got the offer, I just got my documents ready. I translated them, and then I went straight to the embassy to. So
that's the Italian embassy, not VFS.
Italian embassy, not VFS. Yeah, to authenticate or legalize the document. And so after that, that's when they gave me the Declaration of Value, and then I of course uploaded that copy to UniPD's portal. And afterwards, I was given the final admission offer. So that was how I did it. But I don't expressly know if it has changed because there's websites, because I didn't know of any websites at that time. But during my research, I saw that there's something like that, but they didn't specify if you have to do the application for authentication through like the way you guys do it. I didn't see anything
so you
like
guys
that.
don't have to go to like Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Ministry of Education?
No, because I think that's for us. I don't know if it's the same with Nigeria. Like it is easier to verify from the universities if like, especially even with the WAEC, because we have the index number and then there's an official website. So they can even go and check, like with just your index number, they can check if the result that you have given to them is the same thing. So I think that the year before I applied, I learned that they didn't allow all the students that applied that year because few students submitted false documents. That is the WAEC, because some people can change the certification, right, to look like you have like very great marks or score. Yeah, so I think that some students submitted like falsified documents, and they were able to verify, because if you go to WAEC's website or like the portal to check results, you just need the index number and a scratch card, and you can like, yeah, so when they compare like what is in front of them and what's on the website, if it's different,
yeah, and that's the same thing I think that happens for the Nigerian authentication, because I think we also have to get a scratch card at the Ministry of Education to verify our WAEC document. We also have to do that.
So you have to do that job.
Yeah, so I think maybe they do it for you guys, but we have to go through that process first personally before we can go ahead to the Italian embassy to do the legalization. So we don't just carry our documents directly for legalization. We have to follow that process of authentication first.
That's interesting. I didn't have to do that. And I think I asked a few students, they didn't mention anything like that to me, but I'll verify and see. And then if there's any updates, you can add it to YouTube. Like, I don't know how you guys call it. That's my first
That's fine. So you mentioned something about on the VFS website, you fill the form called Declaration of Value. Is that?
Yeah, request form. Yeah, so
request form. Oh, that's
it's called. If you go to the website and you check for pre-enrollment, you search in the bar for pre-enrollment, you see they will give you the list for it, and then there's a form attached to the list that you have to download and print and fill, and then you have to attach to the other documents before you send it to embassy.
Okay, so now for someone that might probably be confused now or doesn't know anything, where is like the first point they have to go to if they want to apply for visa and maybe submit these documents? So do they just go to the VFS website, so they will find like detailed instructions on what to do?
I think that the VFS website will help a lot. For me, I just went straight to the embassy. When I got my offer letter, like I read the process online. I went to the embassy's website. Sometimes they are not very thorough, so I had questions. I had questions, and I think VFS in Ghana is a very busy place. Because I think that most of the Schengen countries do the application through VFS. So if you don't have a contact there, if you try to contact them via their phone or email, it's like you might not have, like if you read something on their website and you don't understand and you want clarification, it will be hard to get a contact to help you. So for me, I went straight to the embassy and I went to the reception. I think they have like a
embassy, the Italian embassy,
the Italian embassy,
VFS organization.
No. The VFS organization has an office far from the embassy, so I went straight to the Italian embassy, and then there was a lady at the help desk or the collection office, and I spoke to her. I was like, I have my document. I have an offer to study in Italy, and I have to do the legalization. Like, what's the process? I know I have to translate. Like, where do I? She was like, okay, the people who translate for you are here, and
you can translate at the embassy.
No, like the list. The list of people who can translate, because I was like, I don't know anyone who does the translation. I know on the website it said that I have to do, and she was like, take a picture, call the person or call anyone, get it done, and then you can come back to submit. So I did my reading, and I also, sometimes for confirmation's sake,
you went in person.
I went in person to the embassy because I think I didn't get through to VFS, any like the customer service in VFS. So I went straight to the embassy to make inquiries.
So, but you still got that form for the declaration of value from the VFS website?
Yeah,
first.
From the VFS. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So, if you now want to apply for the visa directly, you apply from VFS. You don't go to the Italian embassy directly, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is that process like? Do you just like open an account, fill a form, submit your documents online, or you have to submit?
You have to submit in person. So during my time, you have to book, you have to go to the VFS website, and then you have to book an appointment. You have to tell them what you are coming to do. Like you are coming to apply for, of course, study visa, and then you have to put your details and then make payments to get an appointment date. And once you get an appointment date, then you can go. But I realized that they've changed it this time. So it looks like now they are giving it looks like they are, because they know that their Italian visa process is hectic. It looks like now they are allocating time, and they've given some level of freedom to them to apply for the visa, the study visa. So you don't need any appointment.
Once just walking.
Yeah. You're just working, especially once you have already submitted your pre-enrollment document, or you have submitted your certification for legalization. Yeah, immediately after that, you have to apply. I noticed that when I did my research for if the process has changed, they were like, you have to do the application for your visa immediately after you've applied for the legalization,
but you must already have collected the declaration of value.
So you don't need to. Okay, so I can go through the document that you need for the visa application, and then we can come to that question. So you need from the VFS website. This are the document that you need. You need your visa application form, which is the long stay Italy, completely filled and signed. You need 2 recent color photos. And the dimension is 45 millimeters by 35 passport size, without glasses. So we have to take off glasses. Yeah, and then your original traveling passport, and it's supposed to be valid for 18 months.
Wow.
Yes.
18.
So
that's
so
long.
one and a half year. Yeah, before it expires. So if it's
like 1 year, I don't know. I think Nigeria is usually 6 months or something.
Yeah, I thought it was 6 months, but that's what I'm saying. That it looks like
things have changed.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of things have changed. You need your family status document. You need letters of acceptance from the university, and then instead of the request of declaration of value application. So yes, when you make payment for the declaration of value, you add that to it. You don't need the certification or the legalized document or the document they put on it to prove that you have legalized your document. You just need the receipt. And I asked someone who recently applied, and he was like, it is because now they do both the legalization and visa application together.
So that makes sense.
So when they call you, or probably they will send it through VFS, because the visa application, you do it through VFS. So when you're sending back your documents, everything will go through VFS. But with my time, I had to, after I did applied for the legalization, they called me when it was ready to come for it, and then I had to attach it to my visa
application documents.
Yes,
that makes sense, really. But this one is just like, if they are rejecting you, they reject you at once, because they reject people for the legalization too in Nigeria. Like, not everybody is going to get that declaration of value, so you might have to come back. They may say maybe there's a mistake with your translation or something is wrong, then you have to come back again to do it, and that's usually ethic and all. But I think it makes more sense. So it's, if you know that you get rejected for the visa, it's just that you might not know if it's the visa or if it's the declaration of value. Or does it mean that most Ghanaians will surely get that DOV?
Most definitely. I don't know. I feel like during our time, I think that the hectic part was more of the visa application, because I think most of the guys that we applied, we didn't have issues with the legalization of certifications. Yeah, but it was the visa application because of the funds, like proof of funds and like all those things. So, yeah, that was where it was a bit like difficult,
tricky.
Yeah, tricky because like and at that time you could also have waited till you have your like your scholarship, and then you can use that as proof of funds. But now, since they are doing the visa and legalization together, you have to make sure that your proof of funds is solid
before you go ahead and apply.
Yes, before you go ahead. Yeah.
It means
so I think
before then it's better to wait until you get like your scholarship offer letter or something before you go ahead and apply, if you want to
rely on the scholarship. If you want to use that, which means that, and I don't know, I think that's like for UniPD, they don't release the documents for the scholarship until like, is it August or when? November. Yeah, November.
Were you on scholarship?
When I came at first I was on scholarship, but as time went on, I lost like the full scholarship, but I was on tuition.
Is that the part of excellence or which one?
No,
for the departmental.
No, it was the Veneto regional.
Okay. Yeah, I also was on Veneto region scholarship.
Yeah. I took a year gap, and I didn't know that I had to meet a certain credit score to maintain the scholarship. Okay. And since I didn't write the exams, like when I came back, they were like, they can't do anything. I don't. The only thing they could do, because I had my documents, was just give me tuition waiver. But I didn't get the accommodation and the Mensa and the fees. Afterwards.
Mensa food. Oh, good. That's good. So in Ghana, do they really accept the Veneto regional scholarship as proof of fund? Before?
Before they do, because I knew of people. I knew of one lady. I did an application together with her. For me, I was lucky because I had a solid proof of finance. Like I had my mom's, like and so they easily gave me the visa. I think that when I was applying for the visa and the legalization of the scholarship documents, I used two different accounts. My mom had two different accounts. The other one, I used one bank, and during the scholarship, I used another bank. And they were like, no, we already, I was lucky. They're like, we already have this. Bring a copy of the same thing, right? Yeah, so I had to take it back. So I think that they are more concerned about like the proof of finance, because I think 2 years afterwards, my brother also tried, but at that time, he didn't have my mom's what's it called?
Bank statements.
So they were like, he doesn't have enough funds to support it. So they rejected. They gave him the reason being that he didn't have enough funds to support him.
That's quite interesting. So because Nigerians, even if you have the Veneto regional scholarship, don't bother putting it in your visa application, because that's the reason they will reject you. Because they feel like if you have the approval fund, then why are you depending on an income-based scholarship? So they expect that, you can come ahead and apply. So in like the family status document, I think you mentioned that as part of what you need to submit. You don't submit family status document as part of your visa application documents in Nigeria. You only submit that when you want to apply for the Veneto regional scholarship, and they do not even legalize it for us at the Italian embassy. So mostly we legalize that at the embassy in Rome. That's the Nigerian embassy in Rome. And at some point last year, like the last one I applied for, they were not even willing to, like, it was a problem because they were not willing to collect the one from Rome. But I think the process might have changed with this Veneto regional scholarship stuff. So we had to go to Prefectura and to like also get like additional stamps, all this kind of stuff. But as God would have it, we got the scholarship the second time. So hopefully one doesn't extend, so you don't have to go through that process again. That's just like, the whole stuff. But that's good. So basically, anyone watching this, your advice is that they should have like a solid proof of fund before you go, except you have like the maybe Padova Excellence Scholarship, which is like a fully funded one, and you definitely have a letter for that. Or maybe like the departmental scholarship, then you can provide that one as like a good proof of fund. So now, talking about proof of fund, do you have an idea of what is required or what could be seen as enough?
The time that I applied, I think for your personal bank statement, you needed, I think, if I remember correctly, minimum of like 4,000 euros in your account.
4,000 euros minimum.
Yeah, in your personal bank account. And I asked a student who applied.
Wait,
recently.
in your personal, different from your sponsor, what?
Yes, it's different from your sponsor. So you can let your sponsor. So what I did is that I made my mom transfer that amount into my account. Yeah, earlier before I applied, and of course this is going to be on a statement that she's the one
she's giving you.
Yeah, and then I also added her bank statement to it as well. So now I lent is 6,100 euros.
Well, 2019 is pretty a long time, really.
Yes,
because even when I was applying, it stated on, I had to do like a calculation then too. It was like maybe 400 and something per month. So I had to multiply it. Then it was
I saw
like
something like that too. Yeah. I saw something like that. I think on Masters Portal, they said 460 per month.
Okay.
So, and the school is between 2 years or 2.5 years. So that's like 30 months. So 30 times 460.
Oh, yeah. 30 months.
She give you.
Wow.
So yeah, she give you an eye. Yeah. So I think that is changing daily. So I think that the best thing is either you get like a good scholarship, and to get a good scholarship, like of course you have to have like solid grades. Yeah, so because the original scholarship can be a bit tricky, and
it takes time before you get it.
Yes, it's like the processing is long, and I learned that because when my brother applied, I told him that he should wait till he gets the original scholarship, and he was like, no, the embassy told him to. I think at that time, that's when they were doing the changes. That was in 2021. He was like, the embassy was forcing him to come and do his visa application. He had already applied for the legalization of his document, the pre-enrollment. Yeah. But then they were like, I think at that time, that was when they wanted to do everything together. So they told him to forcefully apply for the application, for the visa application. And then because he didn't have enough funds, they rejected him. So.
And normally the regional scholarship for uni-PD, I don't know about other schools. I remember during my time, I wasn't on the first list because, I was in UK then. School started around October 3rd, and I wanted my name to come out so I could use that as an additional, like as a buffer while I was applying. So I didn't know that because I had not done my legalization and had not submitted, or maybe like my visa, I done my legalization, but I didn't submit like a proof of visa appointment. So I didn't get a student number. So and I required the student number for my like to be given the scholarship, because it's usually a list and you have to use your number to search for it. So I was waiting. I waited till like October, I think 11th. School started since October 3rd, but my visa application was October 13th. Wow. But I didn't get the stuff, so I just went ahead to use my proof of funds then. So, and as God would have it, I had scholarship. Scholarship came until December. Secondly, so, and definitely there's usually like a date, I think even in Nigeria, that if you are planning to come to Italy to study, the visa has like a timeline where you have to apply for your visa. So that could also be a factor. So the regional scholarship is not all that reliable.
Yeah, it's not reliable when you want to use that as because I like during my time that they were flexible even on the date for visa applications. Like the girl who was rejected for not having enough funds waited until she applied to, I think it was in Milan. Yeah, I don't know the university, but I think it was in Milan. She waited until she had gotten the scholarship. And then she reapplied because they rejected her first when she didn't have enough funds. Yeah. So I don't know if they'll do it this time around, like for you to reapply with the regional scholarship. So right now it looks like it's a bit tough. Like you have to get like either the Ministry of Foreign Affairs scholarship or excellence, or the scholarship and all those things. Like because it's more.
And I even heard too that when you're providing your sponsor, that it has to either be your personal account, your parents or the sponsor must be someone who resides in Italy. That's for Nigerians.
Oh,
I don't know if it works for.
It's the same thing. The person has to be your parent. I think they will only consider in the case where you don't have parents, and then you have to, like, of course, you need someone
your guardian in Nigeria.
Your guardian, yeah. So ours in Ghana. So because, yeah, don't worry. As well, we are brothers, so
yeah.
Yeah, your guardian in Ghana or in the country that you reside in. Yeah, because when I asked some of the students, he said that he even helped someone apply, and the person used a sponsor, and they rejected it. They rejected him. Yeah, you have to use your parents.
Yeah, or maybe someone in Italy.
They just put it there, but they don't.
Really?
They don't, yeah, because it's inside, like, the less they can, like, so one of the things they said, letter of commitment from your parent or sponsor who assumes responsibility for covering your expense in Italy. Evidence of your sponsoring parent's profession, employment status with employment letter or commercial extract. Sponsoring parents, you see that they start with sponsor and parents, and now it's just parent and sponsoring parent bank statements. They didn't even add the sponsor again. They just
so is this on the VFS or the Italian website?
No, VFS. The Italian, they don't want to like they relinquish everything via VFS. Yeah, so this is
I'm going to get that link from you and put in the description box so people can go there and explore. And find out. So thank you so much. I think we spent quite a lot, but it's very important to get these things straight and clear for anyone know that's looking forward to applying. So now, also in Nigeria, one of the documents you need your flight reservation, you need health and travel insurance documents. You also need the hotel, sometimes hotel reservation, and some people also ask for tax clearance. I don't know if it's a mandatory stuff. I didn't do anything relating to tax clearance when I was applying for my visa. Okay, that was in UK, so it wasn't part of the document. So how is it in Ghana?
It's not, the tax clearance also is not compulsory at all. Yeah, I also didn't do. I asked one of the recent students too, and he said he did, but it wasn't important. It wasn't necessary. It was just it was a waste of time. So the flight, you have to add, but then the embassy explicitly tells you that don't pay for the flight. It has to be a reservation. Yeah, because like the lady I was talking about, she, the one who was rejected during her first application, the visa application, she paid for her flight.
Really?
Yes. So when she was rejected,
it has a lot of money.
No, I think that she had a lot of faith.
Yeah, maybe. But really, you shouldn't.
Exactly. I don't know who advised her. I think that maybe she wanted to convince them that she's
serious.
She's serious and she can afford to travel all in Italy. So yeah. But don't make that mistake. For me, what I did was that fortunately for the VFS in the Accra, because there's two VFS offices, like there's one in another region and one in the capital city. So in Accra, VFS is around the airport, and the airport has a lot of like the airlines offices. So I went to the Turkish airline and I told them that I'm applying for my visa and I need a dummy reservation. Flight ticket. And they know it. They know that that's what the embassies require. So they did it for me. I think at that time it was like 50 Ghana cedis, which should be less than €5. But I know that you can also do it via bookings.com. You can do a flight reservation without payment or like with free cancellation or something. But I went to the office, like I did everything manual. Like I didn't want to risk it. Yes,
it's actually good, really. So you know what's going is authentic.
Yes, I didn't want to go and put any money or put any card somewhere, and then later they will take the money.
Typical African man.
Exactly. I didn't have enough to let loose. I went. They did it for me. With the reservation, I think I searched online with the hotel reservation. I searched online to look for like cheap hotels. Unfortunately for me, I found like a hostel which was in Padua and it was close by. So I did a reservation. With they gave you a time to cancel before. Yeah. So if you don't cancel before that date, they'll take like part of the money.
So what platform did you use for that?
That I think I don't know if I don't remember if I used booking.com, but then yeah, probably I'm sure I used booking.com. But then I remember applying directly on their website. So I think probably I just did a Google search to find the closest, like not closest, but then the cheapest that's not too far from the university. Yeah, so that they know that's like, yeah, I'm serious, and when I'm coming to
Padua.
I'm coming to Padua. And so yeah, I did a reservation for that, and then they gave me a time to, if I'm not going to come, to cancel. Yeah, so I didn't have to also pay for that. I actually, even though I actually ended up using it, I only paid when I got there, when I got to the So that
makes sense. Really, that makes sense. So
and I think booking.com is the best.
Yeah, that was also suggested by Simi in the other video.
Yeah, because they give you like the list of hotels, hostels, and then whether you are allowed to do free reservation or you have free cancellation and all those things. So they give you a list so you can go through them.
Yeah, bookings.com is actually a very good place to, except you want to use Airbnb, so that's another option you can consider. So thank you very much, Tio. And for the health and medical insurance stuff, how did you go about that, and what companies are available in Ghana?
Yeah, so for me, I had a friend working in an insurance company. It's called Star Life Assurance.
Star Life.
Assurance. Yeah, and he did that for me. He did and then I realized that after I did the check before this interview, I realized that they actually have a list of for the Schengen area. If you're applying to the Schengen area, there's a list of insurance you can use. And fortunately for me, Star Life was as part of the list.
So where can we get that list?
It's also on the VFS website. Yeah.
Okay.
It's also, I'll give you that list as well.
Okay, thank you. So that makes sense. I haven't even checked the questions I wrote, but I'm sure we've discussed a lot in that line, and we've almost like funny thing, that was even the second to the last in popular and acceptable health insurance companies in Ghana. So I will get that list and keep in the description box. And what is like the final advice you have for people applying from Ghana, for visa application? What would you want them to take note of as we round up?
I'll like them to ask, I think Simi also said it, read thoroughly, ask questions, and if it's possible, like the time that I was coming, I don't know if it was there, but I didn't know any Ghanaian students or African students in Italy already. So I had to do research myself, and even with the legalization for the regional scholarship, at that time, I didn't know that I had to take that also through. Did I take it through the embassy? There was something there was a problem. Yeah, I didn't take it through the embassy. So after I did the translation, I took it to the High Court for the stamps and everything, and the Foreign Affairs. I sent it directly to, I think, the CAF or ICE body, the ICE body, for them, and they waited until because I sent it earlier. They waited until I had arrived in Italy, and they were like, they were like, they were like, you were supposed to have taken it. And I was like, I didn't know. And the funny thing is that most of us didn't know that that was there, because the thing about that regional scholarship is that the process was so long and everything wasn't clear.
It's never clear.
The steps were not clear at all. So most of us that were already had our visa and were there were struggling because we didn't know. And for one of my classmates, she's from Kenya, and then for her, she contacted the Kenyan embassy and they did it for her. I contacted the Ghanaian embassy in Rome. They were like, they've stopped doing that because like they've had problems with students falsifying documents and everything. So the government doesn't accept, and they also don't even do that. So I had to call my brother and my mom. My mom was furious. She was like, "Why did you do this before going?" I'm like, "If I knew, I wouldn't have been in this position." Yeah. And a lot of us were struggling to get our documents done. So I had to redo all those things again. And then when I think it was ready, the time had passed or something like that. But then fortunately for me, I went to the office, and like, you know, with Italy, you always have to go and talk to them.
Like they like to see your face.
One of my friends advised me, like, just go there, go and talk to them. So after my documents were ready, the correct document, the embassy had legalized, I took it to them, and fortunately for me, they accepted. So I got my scholarship, I think the following year. I didn't get it during the November, like the second time the list came out. So make sure you read. My advice: read thoroughly, ask questions. Now there's a Ghanaian student body. They have a WhatsApp group. I'll give you that list.
I could also
the link as well.
That's interesting. Nigerians to also have Nigerians.
Yes, exactly.
That's good.
So I'll give you that link as well, so that you ask questions, like, even if you're not sure. And the thing is that maybe the school you're applying to, there are already people there, right? So especially when it comes to accommodation, because when we arrive, like, I had to stay, I think Simi said, she said book the hotel or hostel for like 4 weeks.
Right? 4
weeks. I also did, I think, for a month or 2, because I wasn't sure of the accommodation situation, because I couldn't get that student accommodation before coming. So I stayed in the hostel for like 3 weeks, and then through another student, we got to know of a private accommodation, and like we all went there. So like, you need network, you need to talk to people.
It's very important.
Yes, because when you're going to a no man's land,
especially when they don't speak English, or if you're coming to a developed country where everything is controlled online. It was even worse when I landed Italy, and oh God, I couldn't find someone that could, speak English. I met 2 young people, but it was really hard communicating. I was just glad that my internet connection was still working, so I could reach out to a Nigerian I was already communicating with through like WhatsApp and all. So it's usually
good for you. I almost cried when I landed because the same thing, I couldn't find anyone who can speak English, and I had so much load, and like, I didn't know the location. My network, I think, my internet wasn't working at that time.
And if you're coming from Ghana, it might not work.
Probably. I couldn't find the taxi station, and it was raining on top of it.
Oh God!
I was like, why am I?
Wow, that's so sad.
Fortunately for me, I saw someone. I was like, taxi, and he was like, yeah, it's just in front of you. Just move forward. You see it. I had so much load. I had to push them in the rain. And fortunately, I found the taxi rank, and I showed the man the location to the hotel. And he was like, okay, he knows the place. He can take me there. And also, once you get your visa and you're coming, I know that it's common sense, like, just get some change some of your
Ghana
money
Ghana cedis have money. It's very important.
Have physical cash. Don't rely on your credit card or visa. It might not work.
That's
sometimes
true.
It might not work. So get like physical cash. And also, like, read and ask questions. If you have to bother them, like, you have to go to the embassy. You have to, now that fortunately for Ghanaian students or the recent student, they don't have to book our appointment to VFS. Bro, just go there. Ask questions. Cool. Like, I read this. Because if you call them, they don't answer. Like, they don't answer. If you send them text message, email, they don't reply. So just go there, talk to them. They might be harsh and rude, but you need it. You are the one who needs the help. So like, just go for it. Yes, and make sure that also with the scholarship, I'll say that if you know that you want to use, I don't know that if they will not accept it, but then if you want to use like the original scholarship for what's it called, for your proof of finance or funds, I think that once you get the admission and you are getting your documents ready for pre-enrollment and the visa application, do the required documents also for the scholarship together. Like, do everything together, because you end up using the same people, you end up using the same people who translate, because also with the legalization for the scholarship, you have to translate the family status, the family income, all those things. So once you know the document that you need, make sure that once you're doing the pre-enrollment and visa application, get all the funds. Well, even if it's not the stage for the scholarship legalization, just get the document ready so that immediately you have to apply, you can just send everything together. And I think that will also save you money, because anytime you go to VFS, you have to pay, because they have the application fee which goes to the embassy, and they have their service charge because they are providing a service for you. So anytime you go there, often as you go, you spend money. So like my advice is that make sure you know, as like for each process, read well, know the document that you need, and get them all ready together. And make sure you also watch the deadlines, because like for me, I missed the deadline for the first application of the scholarship because I also didn't read well to know that I had to take it through the embassy. So like make sure that you watch the deadlines and ask questions. Like, I'll say ask questions. Right now, you have the WhatsApp group, so message them, ask someone a question, and I think people are willing to help you get the help.
Like Theo is willing to help. That's why he came on board. And I'm sure that from this video, there's actually a lot that has been said, and you will be able to find not just one or two things, a lot of things that would help you. And as you're watching, remember to share to other people. Don't just keep this information to yourself. As Theo has come on board to help you, also help other people who need this help. And I'm sure that God is also willing to help you, and everything will fall into place. Do your own, do your part. God will also, do his part. And if I find someone that is able to, talk about the regional scholarship, if there's anything specific, definitely I'll do a video on that, really. But then, till we meet, do stay comforted. Bye.
Bye.